All right, imagine this. You're writing a Python function, and suddenly you see something like star args or double star kw args in someone else's code, maybe in documentation, maybe in a library. And you're like, wait, what even is that? It looks weird. It's not something you usually write when you're just starting out. All right, so let's start from scratch. I'm going to create a simple function. I'm creating a function called orderFood. And for now, this function will take two parameters. First is name, which is basically the customer's name. And second is item, which is what they are ordering. And inside the function, I'm just printing a simple message. Now, let's actually call this function and see if it works. So I'll call the orderFood function. And here I'm passing Mike as the name and burger as the item. So when we run the program, it works perfectly fine. And we get Mike ordered burger as the output. But now let's try something slightly more realistic. Let's say Alice says, I want a burger, but also add fries. So now naturally, I might try to pass one more argument here. And the moment I run this, Python throws me an error. Now, why is this happening? Because this function is designed to take only two arguments, name and item. But here I'm passing three values. So Python is like, hey, I don't know what to do with this extra value. And this is actually a very real problem, because in real scenarios, orders are not fixed. Sometimes people add extras, sometimes they don't. So the question is, how do we design a function that can handle extra inputs without breaking? All right, so now let's try to fix this problem. Right now, our function only accepts two values. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can just add one more parameter for the extra item. So I'll go back to the function and modify it a bit. Now what I've done here is I've added a third parameter called extra, and I've given it a default value of none. That means this parameter is optional. If I don't pass it, the function will still work. So now let's do this. First, let's try the normal case. I'll call the orderFood and pass Mike and burger as the argument. So when we run the program, this should still work. And yeah, it does. Now let's try with an extra, where Alice ordered the fries as the extra. So now when we run the program, we get Alice ordered burger, and then we have extra fries. Perfect. But now, again, let's push it a little. What if Sam comes and says, I want burger, fries, and also a cold drink? So again, I'll try to add Coke in the function call, and again, Python throws the error. So you might think that, let's just add one more parameter for drink. And again, we will print the drinks if a customer orders drinks. Now, when we run the program, this works perfectly fine. Now, yes, technically this works, but just look at this for a second. Every time the user adds something new, we are coming back and modifying the function. And this is where things start getting messy. Because what if someone adds fries, Coke, ice cream, extra cheese, and sauce? So are we going to keep adding parameters like this forever? That's not practical at all. So instead of trying to predict how many extras the user might give, what if we just say, give me anything extra, I'll handle it. And this is exactly where Python gives us something called star args. So now, instead of adding more and more parameters, I'm going to rewrite this function in a different way. So now I'm going to replace all the extras with star args. Now here, this star args might look a little strange if you're seeing it for the first time. But don't worry, let's understand it by actually running it. So first, I'll call it normally. When the Mike ordered only the burger, we got Mike ordered burger as the output. But when Alice orders a burger with fries, Coke, and an ice cream, then this time there is no error in the output. Instead, we get Alice ordered burger as the output. Now the question is, where did these extra values go? So now what I'll do is I'll just print args inside the function. And now if I run it again for the Alice order, then this time first we get Alice ordered burger as the output, and then we get a tuple containing all these values. So what's happening here? When I pass extra positional values, Python automatically collects all of them, packs them into a tuple, and stores them inside this variable args. Now this is where it becomes really useful. Since it's packed inside the tuple, so instead of handling each extra manually, I can just loop through them and print something like added extra. So now if I again run the program, then first we get Alice ordered burger, and then we get added fries, added Coke, and added ice cream as the output. Now one very important thing here. This name args is just a variable name. There's nothing special about the word args. The real magic is happening because of this star. So if I want, I can rename these args to something more meaningful. So I'll replace all these args with extras. And this will work exactly the same. But conventionally, you'll see people use args, so it's good to understand it with that name first. So right now, our function is working really well with star args. We can pass as many extra items as we want, but there's still one small issue. Let's say Bob orders a burger, a large, and extra spicy. Now this works, but if you look at the output, it just prints added large and added extra spicy. But what do these actually mean? Is large the size? Is extra spicy the spice level? There's no clarity. So naturally, what we might want is something like this. We write size equals large and spicy equals extra spicy. Now this looks much better, right? We are labeling each value. But if I run this right now with our current function, it will throw an error that says order food got an unexpected keyword argument, because star args only handles positional arguments, not keyword arguments. So now let's modify the function again. This time, I'm going to replace star args with double star kw args. Again, don't worry about the syntax yet. Let's test it first. I'll print kw args inside the function, and now let's call it again. This time, you'll see we got a dictionary that contains all this extra information. So what's happening here? Python is collecting all the keyword arguments, packing them into a dictionary, and storing them inside kw args. Here, each parameter names like size and spice will act as a key of the dictionary, and all their actual values will act as a value of the dictionary. Now, since this is a dictionary, we can loop through it. So we will use the for loop to print the keys and their values. So now if we again run the program, then this time our output becomes much clearer. We get Bob ordered burger, and then we get size as large and spice as extra spicy. Now again, a very important point. Just like args, kw args is also just a variable name. The real magic is happening because of the double star. So I can rename this as well. I can rename it to details and then change it everywhere in my program, and it will still work exactly the same. So now we've handled flexible positional inputs using star args and flexible keyword inputs using double star kw args, but now comes the most powerful version. What if we want both together in the same function? So far, we've handled them separately. Now let's combine both into a single function. So now I'm going to write the star args and then double star kw args inside the function parameter. Now pause here for a second. There's one very important rule. Star args must always come before double star kw args. If you change the order, Python will throw an error. Now let's actually use both. First, I'll handle positional extras, so I'll go inside the function and use the for loop to print the positional items, and then we have the for loop to handle the keyword items. So now let's test this. So now let's say Jacob wants to order a burger with extra fries and Coke, and he wants the large size and medium spice level. So now as we run the program, you can see that fries and Coke go into args tuple, and size equals large and spice equals medium go into kw args, which is a dictionary. So now let's test different scenarios. So first, when Mike placed the order with no extras, the program worked perfectly. We got the output as Mike ordered burger. And when Alice placed the order with only positional extras, the program still works. We get the Alice ordered burger and added fries, Coke, and ice cream as output. And when Bob placed the order with keyword extras only, the program still works as expected. So now this function is fully flexible. But there's one more important rule you need to understand. When you call the function, positional arguments must always come before keyword arguments. So this is correct, but this will give an error because Python doesn't allow positional arguments after keyword arguments. So now we've covered star args for flexible positional inputs, double star kw args for flexible keyword inputs, and both together for full flexibility. But there's one last really cool thing left. So till now, we've been using star args and double star kw args inside the function definition. And in that case, single star and double star were used for packing values. Now let's look at the opposite. What if we already have data stored somewhere and we want to pass it into the function call? Let's say I create a tuple called extras that stores the extra items that I want to order. Now, normally, if I want to order this item, then I have to pass this into the function call directly. But wait, all the values are already inside extras. So instead of manually typing everything again, I can just unpack it using a single star. So inside the function call, I'll write star extras. Now what this star extras does is it takes each value inside the tuple and passes them as separate positional arguments. So internally, it behaves exactly like this only. So now as we run the program, you can see that it works as expected. And now let's say we have keyword data stored in a dictionary. So normally, if I had to order this item, then I would have to pass the size and spice directly inside the function call. But since the data is already inside the details dictionary, so we write the double star details inside the function call. Now what double star details does is it takes each key value pair and converts them into keyword arguments. So internally, it becomes like this. So now you've seen both sides. In the function definition, single and double star are used for packing values, and in the function call, single and double star are used for unpacking values. And this is exactly why you'll see this used a lot in real-world Python code, libraries, decorators, and frameworks. Alright, so that's all for this video. Hopefully now star args and double star kwargs make a lot more sense and you understand how they actually work behind the scenes. If you found this video helpful, then make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.